Hey everyone, this is Emily Cohen from Tandem Speech Therapy, and I'm really excited to be here with y'all today for my very first Playing with Purpose Facebook Live. And today, as you may have read, we're going to be talking about my favorite toy, Mr. Potato Head. He's waiting here in the box, and we'll get to him in a little bit. But I just wanted to share with you a little bit about myself and about the work that I do for Playing with Purpose before we get started. So I'm a pediatric speech language pathologist, and I have a private practice here in Austin, Texas called Tandem Speech Therapy. And sort of my mission and my purpose with that practice is to really help parents and empower parents and work together with parents and caregivers to build skills that they can use when they're playing with kids or their kids or the kids that they interact with, to really facilitate language growth and development. And I do that with lessons and skills that I learned being a Hanen certified instructor. The Hanen Center is a fantastic place in Toronto, Canada, and they have facilitated a lot of research in the area of early childhood language acquisition and developed a bunch of programs for speech language pathologists like myself to teach you as parents and caregivers things that you can do when you're playing and interacting with your kids to stimulate language, to boost language, to encourage more language. So the It Takes Two to Talk program is what I'm trained in, and it's designed for families who have kids under the age of 5 that are delayed in their language acquisition. And in talking about Mr. Potato Head today, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite strategies from that program. And since we're going to be talking a lot about play, we'll talk a little bit now about what it means to play with purpose. So I came up with the idea for Playing with Purpose sort of after something a girlfriend said to me. And the idea is really about making little tweaks to the ways that you interact and play with your kids. So just tiny, small adjustments to the things that you're already doing can really make a significant difference in your child's growth. And so that means maybe adjusting a toy and how you interact with it, or being intentional about the language that you use and how you're speaking to your child when you're interacting with them. And a lot of that, like I said, is things that I learned in my teaching from the Hanen Center, and just lots of experience. I've been a speech language pathologist for almost 10 years now, and I've worked with kids for a really long time, since I was about 15. That was a long time ago. And play is how your child learns. I like to say, and lots of people like to say, play is your child's occupation. It's how they interact with the world, and it's how they learn things. And so we can take those moments of play and turn them into unique opportunities for your child to learn. So we're going to get to talking about Mr. Potato Head. And so this is my Mr. Potato Head, and I have him here. You can see the potato and a bunch of the parts. And he is stored like many of my toys are stored for therapy. One reason, so in the therapy and the practice that I have, I go see kids in their home or sometimes at school or in a community setting. So having my toys organized this way is just that. It helps me stay organized, but it's also a great tool for facilitating language. So some of the core strategies in the Hanen program are called creating opportunities for your child to lead. So we really want to empower children to lead interactions with us. And when children lead interactions with us, they really get language that they need. They're sort of in charge, and they're motivated in interacting with something that is desired by them, something they want to be doing. And sometimes kids have a hard time initiating or taking the lead. And so what we're going to do is create opportunities for them to lead. And so the first strategy is what the Hanen Center calls sort of interacting with your child, doing something that they need your help with. And so this box is that. Most of the young kids that I work with can't open this box on their own. It's not super complicated, but maybe they don't have the strength or the dexterity in their fingers, the fine motor skills to open these latches. And so the first thing that I would do if I knew a child wanted to play with this Mr. Potato Head toy, and that's another key. I'm only going to play with the child with this toy if I know they want to play with it. I'm never going to encourage a child to play with something they're not interested in, because child-led play is really important. Again, it's about the child taking the lead. So first thing I'm likely to do if I know a child wants to play with my Mr. Potato Head toy is simply set the box in front of them and wait. And one of the reasons that I'm going to wait before I do anything else is because I want to give them an opportunity to initiate the communication before I prompt them or encourage them in some way to communicate. And again, that's just about empowering them to take the lead and take charge of the interaction and what's happening. Now, maybe the child picks up the box, they realize it's not open, and they set it back down. Well, that says to me that the child wants to play with the toy. And so first thing I'm going to do is show the child that I can help. And I maybe say, I can help you open the box. Let's open the box. And so I'm providing them with some language that might be easy to produce. So that O sound for open is fairly easy for kids to say. Vowel sounds are some of the first sounds that children develop. And so I'm going to say, I can help you open the box. And again, I'm going to pause and wait because I want to give the child an opportunity to communicate. And maybe they say open, maybe they look at the box again, and that's just an indication for me that they're ready for me to open the box. So I'm going to open the box. And then the next strategy that I'm going to use with them is called offer a little bit and wait. So I'll maybe I'll take out the shoes and, of course, the potato. And I'll set it up like this. And I'm going to close the box again and wait. And there are the box is clear so the kids can see the parts. And maybe the child will point to the box. I might wait for the child to look at the box. Or maybe the child has some words and can tell me that they want one of the pieces. If I notice that the child maybe is we're still working on developing some words, another strategy that I'll use is giving a child choices. So choices help access language because you have a smaller field of words to pick from. You don't have to sort through everything that's in your brain. You only have, in this case, two choices. So let's say I hold up the two pieces and I say, do you want the eyes or do you want the mouth? Now, I know that the sounds for both of these words are on the easier side for kids to produce. The M sound for mouth is an early sound that kids develop. And again, the vowel like eyes is also an easy sound. So I'm going to give the child choices on a level that I know they can meet me at. So let's say the child says eyes. I immediately am going to give the child the eyes because I want to reinforce that communication that they shared with me. And maybe I help them put the eyes. And we say eyes on. On's another easy early word that kids develop. And we can continue to do this over and over because Mr. Potato Head requires lots of parts to put together. And again, that gives us lots of opportunities for us to engage in a back and forth dialogue with the child, just like you and I engage in a dialogue as an adult. And the more opportunities we have to engage back and forth with the child, the more opportunities we have to reinforce their communication. And the reinforcement is going to empower them to communicate with us again and again and again. So that's some simple tips of how I use hand-in strategies when I'm playing with Mr. Potato Head. When I'm finished talking to y'all today, I'm going to post some links in the comments for the video. So I'll link to my very first Playing with Purpose blog post on Mr. Potato Head so you can read all these things. But a few of the other things I like to use Mr. Potato Head for, maybe for kids that are a little bit older. Mr. Potato Head is a great toy for following directions. So one way that I would use Mr. Potato Head for following directions is I would give the child probably the potato and lay out some of the parts in front of them. And then I would provide them with a direction. If the child is doing really well with a one-step direction, that would be something like put the eyes on. So there's just one thing that the child has to do. I'm going to try and present them with a direction that has two parts. And that's going to be a little bit more challenging. So maybe I say, put the eyes and the nose on. Now, one way that I can help the child if I see that they're having difficulty is also provide them with some visual help. And so maybe I'd say, assuming the parts are laid out in front of me, and while I'm using my words, I'm providing them a visual, and I'd say, put the eyes, I'm pointing to the eyes, and the nose, I'm pointing to the nose on. And that's going to allow them to be successful, and for me to reward them, I think, oh, you did such a great job putting the eyes and the nose on. And as you could hear, I was really specific in praising the child, so they know exactly why I was pleased with what they did. So Mr. Potato is great for following directions. Of course, he's great for helping kids work on body parts and clothing, depending on the Mr. Potato Head set you have. He's also great for all kinds of things that we call basic concepts. So that could be colors, location words like on and in, or off is another great word we can work on with Mr. Potato Head. I also like to use Mr. Potato Head with kids that are older. And you can work on the basic concepts of same and different. So this would be a great thing to do if you had a Mr. Potato Head set that you had two different potato heads. So there's some like really fun Mr. Potato Head sets. I know there's like a Marvel superhero one, and it comes with multiple potatoes and then all the different parts to build, you know, Captain America and Iron Man and things like that. And that's a great opportunity to talk about how things are same and different. So in that case, something that's the same is that maybe both of the characters wear a cape, but something that's different is that one of the capes is red and one of the capes is blue. So helping kids understand that concept of same and different is really fun to work on with Mr. Potato Head, again, when you have more than one potato. Another thing that you can do if you happen, maybe you're a speech pathologist like myself and are using Mr. Potato Head with a group of kids, you can help kids by facilitating cooperative play. So that's playing together. So in that case, what I would do is maybe hand one child the potato head piece and the other child the box of parts. So they're going to have to work together to build and play with the potato head. And while I'm doing that, I can model language for them. So maybe I help the child who has the potato say to his or her friend, I want the red hat. And then help the child who has all of the parts provide that thing to the child that asked for it and say, oh, here you go, here's the red hat. And you can work on things. So we're helping kids learn that back and forth exchange. They're playing together. We can work on some social language things like saying please and thank you, greeting friends, saying hi and bye appropriately, stuff like that. So those are all great things you can do with Mr. Potato Head in cooperative play. And then the last thing that I'm going to talk about today for Mr. Potato Head is using him to help kids learn about verbs or action words. So Mr. Potato Head can do lots of different things. So maybe I say to the child I'm working with, show me Mr. Potato Head is jumping. And the child makes Mr. Potato Head jump. And then I can flip that in reverse and ask the child a question so that they're the ones that use the language. And I say, oh, look at that. What is Mr. Potato Head doing? And ideally, the child will respond using that verb or that action word that I provided a model for, saying, Mr. Potato Head is jumping. Or maybe they say jump, or maybe they say jumping. And again, I'm going to help them by providing a really good language model and say, oh, you're right, Mr. Potato Head is jumping. I like seeing Mr. Potato Head jump. So again, I'm going to provide them with some specific feedback and maybe be, as you heard me say a few times, I use the word jumping multiple times for that repetition because all kids learn with repetition. So I'm going to put my Mr. Potato Head away. And very last thing I'm going to show you today before I sign off is a Mr. Potato Head activity I actually have on my iPad. And we know, from research, and there's probably lots of things you see in the media about limiting screen time for children, and I'm a huge proponent of that. But I will say that there are ways to interact with kids with a screen that can be that can help facilitate language. And so it's really it's not about handing the child the screen so that they can interact. It's about you and the child interacting together with the screen. And so Hasbro has a really great Mr. Potato Head app for, I believe it's only available on the iPad or for iOS. And so this is super cool because it gives you access. Let's see if I can. There we go. Get the box to open. This gives you access to tons of different sets of Mr. Potato Head. So there's lots of opportunities for language. Talk about that, comparing and contrasting, talking about same and different. So if a child chooses a potato head, it provides them with all the parts. This would be a great way to help kids work on requesting or talking about the thing that they want. So you could say, you could help the child indicate that they want to put the eyes on. I want eyes on. And then you drag the eyes. And they get to build the potato head, and it's fun, and you're going to provide models for language for them. There's also lots of different scenes in this for Mr. Potato Head to interact with, and he does all kinds of different actions. So again, opportunity to practice those verbs and action words with kids. So a cool way to facilitate screen time and boost and build language. So I just wanted to say thank you for either tuning in today or for coming back and watching my first Playing with Purpose Facebook Live on Mr. Potato Head. And I hope you have fun the next time that you play with purpose. So I will see y'all again soon. Thanks so much.